Hello, my friends. Good morning. The time right now is 1:13 a.m. This is January the 4th of 2026. That's right. January the 4th of 2026, early hours of the morning, and I'm doing a live stream. And my friends, we all witnessed history being written. We are, in this very moment, we are witnessing history being written. In the days and weeks ahead, we are going to be witnessing a lot more. And for months, you know this, you know this, for months I have been talking about Venezuela. You can go back months. I mean, it's all documented, it's recorded. You can look at the live stream history, you can look at the things I have written. For months, I have been talking about Venezuela. And I highlighted over and over again that the United States should take strong action. I called Nicolas Maduro, the so-called president of Venezuela, no longer. I mean, he was not a legitimate president, but he somehow managed to hold on to that title by rigging elections. So he claimed to be the president of Venezuela. But now he's in federal custody in the US. So this brutal dictator, that's his real identity, brutal dictator, Nicolas Maduro. And I called Maduro a brutal dictator over and over again. And now we are celebrating the arrest of this brutal dictator, the detention of this brutal dictator, Nicolas Maduro. Nicolas Maduro has been captured, and he is now in federal custody, US federal custody. And it all happened very fast. I see Bree is here. Hello, Bree. And I see Frank and Steve and others. Am I missing someone? Well, glad to see you all here. My friends, make sure that you're hitting the like button, supporting this channel. Good to see you all. Wyatt, good to see you. Thank you all for being here, and others who are tuning in perhaps for the first time. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel. So going back to the discussion, United States Armed Forces conducted a strong operation, a strong military operation in Venezuela, a special operation. The United States military went in, captured Maduro, and flew him to the United States. Not just him, but also his wife. You know, I think at this point, I need to pause. I need to pause because we have to pause here to say thank you to the US military. Yes, we are going to thank our President Donald J. Trump. We are going to thank President Trump's team. We're going to thank General Kane. We are going to thank Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. We are going to thank Secretary of State Marco Rubio. We are going to thank the other people involved in making this happen. But then on the ground, the ones who conducted the operation on the ground, the US Armed Forces, we have to say thank you to the military service members, okay? Please make sure that you're saying thank you, U.S. military. Bree says, yes, great job. It was a great job. I don't think that I have words to describe what a great job it was, what they did to capture Nicolas Maduro. U.S. military, you got to thank them. Kay Cooper, good to see you. The U.S. military went in, captured Maduro, captured his wife, and flew Maduro to the United States. I mean, that even that transfer, just imagine what kind of um, how the U.S. military had to prepare for this. Deciding to go in, conducting those strikes. There were explosions in Venezuela. There were those strikes, and then the U.S. military went and captured Maduro, his wife, and then took them out of the country and then transported them to the U.S. I mean, just logistically and looking at it from a security standpoint, can you imagine what kind of resources had to be deployed? What kind of resources? Both equipment and also personnel. The personnel, how trained, how skilled, how brave those military service members are, those who made this possible. The military service members, the intelligence community, and President Trump's administration. What kind of planning was required? How they figured everything, how they planned and executed this entire operation, and how fast Maduro was transported to the U.S., to New York. Edwin, good to see you. I see more and more friends are tuning in, and new people, and there are folks who are here for the first time. It was this entire operation was so brilliant. I do not have words to describe, as I said. But just know this, we have to thank those people who made it happen, each and every individual involved. The special operations team. They went through years and years of training to get to this point, to be able to conduct such an operation. The special operators, we are the best. U.S. military, the best in the world. And if anyone had any kind of doubt, well, now they should not have any doubts. We all know for sure that the United States military is the best in the world. And when there's a commander-in-chief who is the best, that combination is even more powerful. We got the best president, we got the best military, extremely smart people in the intelligence community. They worked hard, and smart people in President Trump's cabinet. And together they all made this operation very, very successful. It was a massive assault. I really don't know how to describe this. And if we have military service members watching this, if we have military veterans watching this, share with us your thoughts about this entire operation. It was a very big victory for the United States of America. U.S. military action to capture Nicolas Maduro. And can you believe it? Hey, listen, Maduro, we spent so much time talking about this brutal dictator, so much time we spent talking about the issues, talking about the notorious Nicolas Maduro. Can you believe that this guy is now in the United States? This guy, Nicolas Maduro, is now in the United States in federal custody. This guy, Nicolas Maduro, who was challenging the United States, this guy who caused so much harm, including harming the people of his own country, and then also trying to harm the people of the United States. This guy, Nicolas Maduro, he's now in the United States in federal custody. There's no way for Maduro to escape. He's not going to be able to get out of this situation that he is in. No way for him to escape. He has been taken to New York. He faces narco-terrorism and weapons charges in the Southern District of New York, and now Nicolas Maduro is going to face justice in America. There is very harsh punishment, legal consequences, harsh punishment, harsh penalties waiting for Maduro for all the crimes that he committed. My friends, share your thoughts with me. I know I have a lot to say. I have a lot more to discuss. I'm just getting started, so do not leave. We're just, 11 minutes into the live stream. I have a lot more to say, but I want to hear from you as well. Bree says absolutely true. Thank you, Bree. Good to see you. That's our friend Bree from Michigan. Dee Dee is here. Hello, Dee Dee. Good to see you. Dee Dee from California. And we got Kay Cooper from Texas. We got Frank from Florida. And we have others. Steve is here. Steve, thanks for being here, Steve. President Trump held a news conference in the morning, and he briefed the American people. He shared his remarks, his thoughts directly to the American people, and what a great operation it was. The Venezuelan military could do nothing when they faced U.S. military power. President Trump said that no U.S. service member was killed in this operation, so all our service members are safe. Not a single piece of military equipment was lost. And so it's a total success. Total success. And President Trump made a key announcement that I'm going to talk about now. So get ready. You're going to love this. I think this was the highlight from the news conference. Do you have any idea what I'm going to say now? Well, let's get to it. President Trump made a key announcement that the United States will run Venezuela. The United States of America will run Venezuela. I loved it when President Trump made that announcement. I absolutely loved it when he made that announcement, and that's because whenever, you got to understand this, in international relations, there cannot be a void. If there's a void, if there's a vacuum, if there's a power vacuum, then someone tries to fill that vacuum, that void, and we cannot allow any adversary to fill this void. The United States of America cannot allow any hostile actor to try to capture power in Venezuela now that Maduro is out. Not just Maduro, also his wife out of the country. They're on U.S. soil now. There's a void, there's a vacuum in Venezuela. Now, if any evil entity tries to fill that void and capture power, that's going to be very detrimental. So the United States cannot allow that to happen. And so the United States has to manage things in Venezuela. Very simple. The United States of America, the greatest country in the world, will run Venezuela. Good to see our friend Journey. That's Rachel from Waukesha. Good to see you here. Remember, it was Nicolas Maduro, this brutal dictator, who sent Tren de Aragua gang members to the United States through the open southern border. Because during the Joe Biden administration, the border was wide open and people from all over the world illegally poured into the United States through the open southern border. Not just the southern border, the northern border also. A lot of people don't talk about the northern border, but I have talked about the northern border, not just the southern border is where we have most of the problems, but the northern border also has issues. And you know, my friends, if you have been watching my videos for 1 year, more than a year, you know this. I have talked about the northern border and the maritime border, everything. We've discussed. We've had hours and hours of discussion on so many border security topics, issues. Anyway, going back to the main discussion. During the Joe Biden administration, when there was no border security, what did Maduro do? This Venezuelan dictator, this brutal dictator who is now in federal custody in the US. But back when he was enjoying his power, and he saw that there was a very weak president, Joe Biden, in the White House, and the border was wide open, what did Nicolas Maduro do? He sent all the criminals from Venezuela, all the Tren de Aragua gang members, he sent them into the United States through the open southern border. And those Tren de Aragua gang members, what did they do? They came to the US and caused havoc, caused chaos, committed a wide range of crimes on US soil. And we've talked about all those issues. Remember in Colorado when Tren de Aragua gang members took over apartment building. Remember that? Who remembers that? Do you remember that we talked about this? Tren de Aragua gang members taking over apartment building in Colorado? Remember that? Right here on this channel, we talked about this. Kay Cooper remembers it. Thank you, Kay. Tren de Aragua gang members committed various crimes across the United States, including murder and drug trafficking. Rachel remembers that. Thank you, Rachel. So this is that same person, Nicolas Maduro, who sent Tren de Aragua gang members to the US, and we, the American people, suffered as a result of that. And Tren de Aragua was just one gang, and there were so many other gangs, MS-13 and other gangs that came from different parts of the world, from different countries. They came to the US. Gang members, dangerous gang members, drug traffickers came to the US, and we suffered. We, the American people, suffered as a result. And now, that evil person, Nicolas Maduro, is in federal custody. If you would have asked Nicolas Maduro 4 years ago, hey, Maduro, do you know where you're going to be 4 years from now? Let's say you ask Nicolas Maduro sometime in 2024 before the presidential election, okay? Maybe middle of 2024. If you ask Maduro, hey, Maduro, do you know what's going to happen in January of 2026? I think the guy would never have guessed that in January of 2026, he would be captured by US Special Forces and put in federal custody in New York. Could he have guessed? What do you think? Let me ask you that question. Let me ask you that question. Do you think Maduro, in his wildest dreams, could he ever imagine that he would be in federal custody in January of 2026? Captured. Nicolas Maduro. Captured, and now he's in federal custody. Once again, thank you to the U.S. military service members. They put their own lives at risk to conduct this operation so smoothly. It was a complete success. Can anyone tell me the name of this operation? Can anyone tell me what the name of the operation was? Tell me. I'm sure some of you know this. What's the name of the operation? Write it in the live chat window, my friends. Go ahead. Let me give you, I don't know, 30 seconds perhaps? 30 seconds, would that do? Absolute resolve, that is correct. Operation Absolute Resolve. Absolute resolve. Total success. So in the history books, it's going to be written there's going to be a massive chapter written. There'll be multiple chapters written on this in history books. Years from now, decades from now, people are going to be reading about Operation Absolute Resolve. Learning about the success of the U.S. service members, learning about the success of the intelligence community, learning about the success of President Trump's cabinet, and learning about President Trump's leadership. Absolute resolve. Remember that. History books will be written. And the GOP lawmakers are applauding the U.S. military action. Republican members of Congress applauding Operation Absolute Resolve, President Trump's decision. And they are thanking the military service members. And, interesting, some Democrats have also expressed support for President Trump's action. That's right. Most notably, John Fetterman, out of all people, John Fetterman from Pennsylvania. Anyone from Pennsylvania here? Anyone from Pennsylvania? Let me know in the live chat if you are watching from Pennsylvania. So John Fetterman said the following. He said, and I quote, "Grateful for our U.S. military personnel that handled these orders in Venezuela with precision. I maintain that we have the strongest and most lethal military in the world. Today proves that even more," end quote. That's a pretty good statement, I think. You know, he used the word precision. That is a good word. I think the orders were carried out with great precision. And then let me tell you, I was actually quite shocked to see Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, okay, Democrat. She called the U.S. military action and the capture of Maduro a welcome news, okay? kind of shocked because Debbie Wasserman Schultz is very, very anti-Trump. For those who know about her, she's very, very anti-Trump. I mean, she's very, very prominent, powerful Democrat. So what do you expect from her? She's quite anti-Trump, and so when she said that the capture of Maduro is a welcome news, and I'm like, wow. So Debbie Wasserman Schultz calling this a welcome news, but you know what? Then she went back to being a Democrat. She also criticized the Trump administration for not notifying Congress beforehand. Okay, she wrote on X that she's going to demand answers as to why Congress and the American people were bypassed in this effort. All right. Okay, so Debbie Wasserman Schultz is calling the capture of Maduro a welcome news, but then she's not happy with the process. Okay, she likes the end result, but she does not like the means to the end. Okay, but then I don't think it's I don't think it's a shock that many Democrats are going to be expressing their strong disapproval. Okay, many Democrats, they are going to be complaining very loudly, and they're actually doing it as we speak. Democrat members of Congress, Democrats in positions of power, they're complaining. They're complaining with strong words. They're opposing U.S. military action in Venezuela, even after knowing that the military action was successful, that Maduro has been captured, that Maduro has been transported to the United States, that Maduro, the brutal dictator, is now in U.S. federal custody. Even after knowing all this, there are Democrats who are opposing U.S. military action in Venezuela. They're opposing this highly successful Operation Absolute Resolve. So I mean, I don't understand. It's mind-boggling. I mean, think about it. Under President Trump's leadership, the U.S. military took bold action and captured a brutal dictator. The operation took place very smoothly, flawlessly, and the Democrats are not happy about it. Oh, the Democrats are complaining. They're not happy about it. I mean, what is it that these Democrats want? What is it that they want? Are they just too blind? Do they have such severe Trump derangement syndrome that they cannot see things clearly, that they cannot process things clearly in their mind? My friends, we the American people, we must thank President Trump and also the military service members. This Operation Absolute Resolve was absolutely successful. The world now gets to see the latest example of American power. American power. You got to understand this. This is not just about Venezuela. This is an operation that sent a message to the entire world about what the American military can do, how powerful the U.S. military is. If anyone out there had any doubts, maybe they saw the 4 years of Biden administration and they thought, oh, America is weak, America is not strong anymore. Those people have gotten the message loud and clear that America is back, America is strong again, and the United States military is the greatest in the world. Absolutely, there's no doubt about this. Once America makes a decision, America is going to do what America says we would do. America has the brain power. America has the firepower. America has the tactical skills and the intelligence and the resources and everything Thank you all for being here, my friends. Thank you all for being here. I see a lot of new names. A lot of new names. People watching this. Please make sure that you're subscribing, okay? You gotta subscribe if you want to support this channel. That's all you do. Doesn't cost you a penny. Just hit the subscribe button. That's how you stay connected. By the way, I'm going to ask you a question. Oh, I'm looking at the poll results. Do you support President Trump's decision to authorize strong military action in Venezuela? Majority said yes. Majority said yes. I'm looking at the poll. The poll is open. The voting is open. You can vote. You can share your thoughts. The question is, do you support President Trump's decision to authorize strong military action in Venezuela? And the majority says yes. You know what that tells me? That tells me that a lot of freedom-loving Americans are watching this live stream today. A lot of freedom-loving Americans are watching this live stream. A lot of patriotic Americans are watching this live stream, and they are saying, yes, yes, I support President Trump's decision to authorize strong military action in Venezuela. Majority saying yes. And I saw a comment that I would like to read. A comment. Freedom-loving Venezuelans have been celebrating all over the world. That's correct. That is correct. Freedom-loving Venezuelans are also celebrating. But you know what? The Democrats are criticizing Trump. But the people of Venezuela are celebrating. The Venezuelans who live outside of Venezuela, they're celebrating. Venezuelans in the United States are celebrating. People from Venezuelan origin, they are celebrating the fall of Nicolas Maduro. But the Democrats are complaining. I mean, just think about it. There are many people who were born in Venezuela. Now they live in the United States. A lot of people coming from Venezuelan origin, they could not go and visit Venezuela. They could not go and see their family members in Venezuela for many years because of the brutal Maduro regime. Because of all the safety issues in Venezuela when Maduro was in power. They could not visit. They could not go see their parents, their siblings, their friends. They could not go back to their country of birth because of the brutality of the Maduro regime. And now those people, including many people of Venezuelan origin who live in the US, they're celebrating that Maduro has been removed. He's gone. He's gone from power. They're celebrating, but the Democrats, they're complaining. So my friends, as people are voting, I can see majority saying, yes, I support President Trump's decision to authorize strong military action in Venezuela. Thank you all. Thank you all so very much. My friends, I stayed up for hours when news broke that explosions were heard in Venezuela. When news broke, it was breaking news after midnight, whatever channel you were watching. Because I had just completed a live stream talking about Venezuela. And as soon as I completed that live stream, I was getting ready to go to bed and sleep. But then I turned on the TV after I got alerts on my phone breaking news alerts. I turned on the TV to watch the news coming from Venezuela, that there were explosions in that country, in the capital city. And people figured, oh, there's something going on, there's something going on. And then we found out eventually that Maduro has been captured. I stayed up for hours after news broke, keeping up with the updates. And my friends, 2026 just started with massive breaking news. 2026. It's the new year. Not even 7 days into the new year. Not even 7 days. And we got breaking news. Good news. The fall of a dictator. And as I said, a lot of people who are originally from Venezuela who live in the US now, and they live in other parts of the world as well, they're very happy. It's a very emotional time for them. As I said, many of them could not visit Venezuela to see their family members for a long time because of the ongoing crisis, because of the brutal regime. So many people in Venezuela suffered under Maduro, but they're now happy. So no matter what the Democrats say, listen to the people from Venezuela, listen to the people who are in Venezuela celebrating. They're relieved, they're happy. They are finally realizing that their country, Venezuela, can see better days ahead. Better days ahead. My friends, to bring stability back to Venezuela, the American president, Donald J. Trump, has decided to run the country. I think this is the best decision going forward. Do not allow a void to form. Do not allow a power vacuum. Because then some adverse entity, some evil force, some other Maduro-type person may come in and fill that void. Do not allow that to happen. So the United States must take control. The United States must run the country of Venezuela. Maduro is now in detention. He's in federal custody, but there are still many challenges on the ground in Venezuela. There are many challenges. Maduro still has allies. I mean, he didn't do everything by himself. He committed crimes against humanity. He violated human rights. He suppressed free speech. But did Maduro do all of that by himself? No. He had his comrades, right? His allies, his comrades and allies. His buddies, his partners, his friends, just as evil as Maduro himself. Maduro's allies and comrades and partners, they're not anything better than Maduro. Some of them could be worse than Maduro. So if there's a power vacuum, if there's a void, maybe some other evil person steps in and fills that void, then Venezuela is going to be back in that same position, maybe even worse off. And that's why I am glad that President Trump has decided that the United States of America will run Venezuela. The control will be in the hands of America. I like the decisions that President Trump is making. I like how he thinks. I like how he not only thinks about the present. He learns from the past, he thinks about the present, but he also understands the future possibilities. You have to analyze everything at once, learn from the past, think about the present, be committed to your goals, but also understand the future possibilities. And so I like the decision. Let me ask you this. Do you support the idea of the United States running Venezuela? Just say I support or I don't support, whatever. Let me know in the live chat. Let me know in the live chat. K. Cooper says total support. Twin says yes. Is it Twin? Another viewer says I support Trump. Bree says I like Tossif's hat. MAGA. Thank you, Bree. Rachel says totally true. Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Our friend from Waukesha. Someone else is saying support. Wonderful. Steve says I support 100%. Lots of support for President Trump's decision. Thank you all. Thank you so very much. I'm going to pause here. I have more to talk about, but just want to remind everyone, please make sure that you're hitting the subscribe button. Okay, that's all you have to do if you want to support this channel. Also, make sure you like the video. Okay. Well, I see a lot of new names. Hey, that's great. A lot of new names. There's a viewer named Chirping. Is it Chirping? Saying Trump and then heart. Thank you. Charisse is here. Hello, Charisse. All right. Blake says Virginia in here. Hello, Blake from Virginia. Thanks for being here. Bree says MAGA. Thank you, Bree. That's our friend from Michigan, Bree. Michigan voted for Trump. Remember that? Remember? Michigan's electoral votes. Who won those electoral votes? Trump did. We love Michigan. A viewer is saying Trump will be fair with the people of Venezuela. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. President Trump is going to ensure fairness, and that's why he needs to be in charge. He needs to be in control. Bree says Michigan loves Trump. Thank you, Bree. So great to see you all. So keep in mind that the United States has a tremendous opportunity now to gather information from Maduro. Did you think about that? Did you think about that? The fact that Maduro is now in U.S. federal custody, there's so much of information, there's so much of information that the United States can gather from Maduro. What he was busy doing, what kind of discussion he had with some of his allies, what kind of conversation he had with maybe Russia, yeah, maybe. I think, hey, Charisse. Charisse says hello. Hi, Charisse. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Now that Maduro is in federal custody, he has no other option but to reveal a lot of information. So we can learn a lot about what Maduro, who he was talking to, what kind of advice he was getting, what some of his buddies were saying, like, what kind of conversation he had with, maybe, let's say, Vladimir Putin. So the United States can gather a lot of intelligence from Maduro just by questioning him, just by interrogating him. So that's a great opportunity. And, you know, um, the US is going to be able to gather crucial information from Nicolas Maduro. And his wife is also in US custody. It's not just him. And she probably has a lot of information too. And she's likely going to divulge a lot of information to US authorities. So if the United States can run Venezuela, this is going to be a very big strategic victory. This is going to give America a great geopolitical advantage. And I think President Trump made the right decision at the right time. And here we are. We are glad to see that the mission was so successful. So successful. So my friends, I have more to say, but I'm going to pause here for a little bit, enjoy my tea, and then also give you the opportunity to ask me questions. Go ahead. I know I started this really late. I usually try to start live streams before midnight. This was way past midnight, way past 1 a.m. But I'm glad so many of you are here. It's just wonderful. Blake says, warm tea or cold? It was actually, when I started the live stream, the tea was hot. But then I left it here in the cup, and now it's lukewarm. So not really cold, but it was hot, but no longer after 47 minutes. English breakfast tea. Wow, so many comments. I'm trying to read one and then the next one pops up. Salerno is here. Hello, Salerno. Good to see you. Bree is having hot tea with honey. That's great. Yes, I need to add some honey to my hot tea. I forgot to do that. Enjoy your tea, Bree. Any questions? Any questions for me? Anything? Otherwise, I'm going to continue with the discussion. Let me know. Oh, Kay Cooper, do you have fever, Kay? I'm so sorry to hear that. Our friend Kay Cooper has fever, so Kay, we're going to wish you a speedy recovery. Okay, everyone, please keep Kay Cooper in your prayers. Wish her a speedy recovery. She's such a wonderful friend of this community. So we pray that Kay Cooper can recover and be back to excellent health soon. All right? We're going to keep Kay Cooper in our prayers, and we appreciate Kay Cooper joining us in this live chat. Okay, you can see the messages, right? Let's wish Kay Cooper a speedy recovery. All right, okay. I'm going to continue here. I do have more to talk about. By the way, those who are here for the first time, I have, hold on a second. I think I had written, did I write my website Website address. No, I did not. Hold on. I'm going to give you my website info and also my email address so that if you want to email me, you can. If you want to learn more about me, read my biography, you can do that on my website. So I'm going to share that with you here. So I just pinned the message to the top of the chat screen. You can see that my website is tausifanam.net. My email address is tausif@tausifanam.net. So make sure you reach out to me by email if you want to. If you want to know more about me, read my biography, read my published opinions, blog posts, check out my podcast. You can do that on my website. All right. All right. So what message does this operation send to the world? That's the question. What message does it send to the world? The message is the following. America is strong again. That's the message. The message is whatever President Trump says, he does. The message is that President Trump fulfills the promises made to the American people. The message is that American President Donald J. Trump is going to take whatever action is necessary to protect the people of the United States. And also, the greatest message goes to Vladimir Putin, I think. I think Vladimir Putin should now realize that he should come to the table and negotiate a peace deal in good faith. That's right. I think the fact that Maduro has been captured, he has been arrested, he is now in US federal custody, I think with that arrest, Russia has lost a key ally. Russia has lost a very big strategic advantage. So now Russia is going to be worried. Vladimir Putin is going to be worried. He's probably going to be worried, thinking what kind of information Maduro may provide to the US authorities, what kind of intelligence may be gathered from questioning Maduro, from interrogating Maduro. So Putin is likely very worried. I don't think anyone could realize that President Trump would take such swift action. And so Putin probably is extremely worried right now that he lost one of his buddies. One of his buddies, Nicolas Maduro, is now in the US in detention. So Putin is worried, and also Colombia's leader. Who's the leader of Colombia? Who's the president of Colombia? Can anyone tell me? You know the name. I know you do. I know you do. Why don't you write it in the live chat? Who is the president of Colombia? Gustavo Petro. Gustavo Petro. Colombia's president. He is now very, very worried. Okay? Blake knows the name, Petro. Gustavo Petro is very worried, seeing what happened to Maduro. Gustavo Petro is worried that he may also be in trouble. So what did Gustavo Petro do? He has called for an emergency UN meeting. That's right. Colombia's leader Gustavo Petro wants an emergency United Nations meeting. Okay, so tell me, what is that going to do? Okay, let's say there's an emergency UN meeting. Okay, so what? Is Nicolas Maduro going to be free? Is he going to be free? Is he going to be released from detention? Is he going to be allowed to walk free? Is that what Gustavo Petro thinks is going to happen if there's this emergency UN meeting? No, nothing's going to change. Nicolas Maduro is still going to be in custody, detained, arrested, behind bars. So what is an emergency UN meeting going to do? Nothing's going to change. I think Gustavo Petro needs to just calm down. Just calm down. Nothing's going to change, Gustavo Petro. President Trump has taken decisive action. But I understand Petro is just worried. And also, our allies got a clear message. Our allies got a clear message that they can always depend on the United States. Our allies are happy because now they realize, now more than ever, they realize that the United States of America is a tremendous partner, is a trusted ally. Our allies are grateful today because of President Trump's bold action against the Maduro regime. Thank you, my friends. Thank you all for being here. I didn't realize that there'd be so many people tuning in for this live stream at this hour. The time right now is 2:11 a.m. That's right. I would have said, "Oh, it's super late." No, it's super early because it's early in the morning. Okay, I'm gonna do a little exercise here. Let's see how many of you are Trump supporters. If you are a Trump supporter, write Trump in the live chat or just write MAGA in the live chat. That way I'll know you're a Trump supporter. Since there are so many new people, let's just get to know some of the folks here. If you support Trump, in the live chat, just write Trump or write MAGA. Okay? Let me see. I'm going to try to read some of the names. So Blake is writing Trump. Matt is writing Trump. There are some others. I can't read all of your screen. Like MP is saying MAGA. That's great. Bradford is saying Trump. There are others saying MAGA, Trump. Kevin says Trump. Bradford says MAGA, Trump. Okay. There are others saying Trump, Trump, MAGA. All right, great. Ray saying Trump. Steve saying Trump. Salerno saying Trump, Bree saying Trump, K. Cooper saying Trump. Excellent. Thank you all. Thank you, my friends. You are amazing people. Wonderful people here. Oh, 1 hour into the live stream. 1 hour into the live stream. That's great. Okay, someone here supports Ron Paul. All right, Ron Paul. He's a good man, Ron Paul. I remember watching the presidential debates when Ron Paul was running for president. Okay. I also read his book, um, the book on Federal Reserve that he wrote. I read that book. It's in my collection. So we got a Ron Paul supporter. Okay. All right. So my friends, I have provided to you my email address. If anyone wants to send me an email with a question that you want me to, like a topic that you want me to discuss in a future live stream, you can do that. By the way, I'm not leaving yet, so don't go anywhere. But if you want to suggest topics for discussion in the future, you can do that. You can email me, all right? Feel free to do that. Synergy says, great channel. Thank you, Synergy. Appreciate it. Oh, wow. Zero is saying great channel. Thank you, Zero. Zero says great channel. Wonderful. Thank you. That's a nice endorsement, huh? Yeah, if you know anything about Zero, Zero doesn't like my viewpoints, but Zero is saying great channel. Maybe there's a change of heart there, huh? Oh, that was sarcasm, as if I didn't know. Yeah, I know. It's sarcasm. That's all right. Zero is like explaining it to me. Oh, that Tosif, that's sarcasm. Thanks, Zero. K Cooper says he loves MAGA. I hope he does. Zero is saying, great, you missed all my questions though. I missed a lot of questions today, Zero. Okay. Because there are so many comments coming in, like thousands of comments, so many questions. I cannot possibly read and respond to everything. So if I miss your question, Zero, um, sorry. And yeah, what can I say? Send me an email. Maybe if you email me, I'll be able to look at that. But I'm trying my best to respond to questions. Okay. Okay. Someone writes, "What kind of American are you?" I'm a naturalized American citizen. That's the kind of American I am. I'm a naturalized American citizen. I'm a proud American. Okay. I'm a patriotic American. That's me. And any more question? Bree says Tosif is a great American. Thank you, Bree. Salerno says Tosif is a patriot. Thanks, Salerno. Thank you. No, it's not nationalized American. It's naturalized American. Naturalized. The process of naturalization. Okay, naturalized American. But thank you for asking. If I say something and you need more clarification, feel free to ask me. So yeah, natural. So you can either be natural born U.S. citizen or naturalized U.S. citizen. I'm naturalized. Okay. Okay. Kevin is asking original from where? Original from South Asia, from Bangladesh, from the city of Dhaka, which is the second most populous city in the world after Jakarta. Okay, Jakarta is the most populous city in the world, in the entire world. The most population in Jakarta. The second most populated city in the world, that's the city of Dhaka, where I am from. Okay? Do you know how many people live in Dhaka? What's the population of Dhaka, where I am from? Any idea? Can anyone make a guess? It's 36 million. Yeah, 36 million. That's the population of the city where I was born and raised, city of Dhaka. 36 million people. All right? Just to put that in, just so you can process that information. The entire population of Venezuela is right around 30 million. And the city where I was born and raised, just the city, not the whole country, the city has a higher population than the entire country of Venezuela. Okay? 36 million was the population of Dhaka. And the country, Bangladesh, has a population of right around 180 million people. Okay? 180 million people, which makes Bengali, that's my first language, it makes Bengali one of the most spoken languages in the world. It's actually, I think, number 7. Yeah, that's right. If you look at the most spoken languages in the world, if you look at the top 10 languages in the world, Bengali is going to be right around, number 7, I would say. Okay? Right around number 7. Right around number 7. It ranks above German. Just to give you some idea. So there are more Bengali speakers in the world than there are German speakers. There are more Bengali speakers in the world than there are Russian speakers. So just to give you a sense of how widely spoken Bengali is, just because of the population of Bengali speakers, it's massive. So yeah, I speak English and also Bengali. And I can speak other languages also. And I live in Wisconsin, for anyone who's wondering where I live now. Wisconsin is my home. I'm a proud American citizen, and I live in the beautiful state of Wisconsin. Someone's asking, do you speak Spanish? I do not speak Spanish, no. I understand maybe a few words, but I don't speak Spanish, no. Okay. Any other question? Any other questions for me? Go ahead. K. Cooper is saying email your questions. Yeah, you can email me. If you have questions, you can email me. And what I will do is after I end this live stream, I will review the questions that you sent to me, and I'll try to answer those questions in the next live stream. Okay, that's how I will schedule the next live stream so I can answer your questions. All right. Yeah, send me your questions. Someone's asking, are you answering any more today or waiting for tomorrow? You know, if you email me your questions, I'm gonna have to review the emails after I end the live stream, and then I will, try to answer them. I'm not promising that I'll be able to answer all the questions that you send me. I may not be able to, depending on whether I know the answer or not. But it can always be a conversation starter. So send me your questions, email me. I'm happy to answer the questions that you write in the live chat, but because of the volume of comments coming in, there's no way for me to read all the questions and all the comments. Um, okay, is Gianna over here? Did I see Gianna here? Gianna, you got a different screen name now, is it? Gianna Forever? Thanks for being here, Gianna. Okay. Yeah, for those who are wondering, because I see Synergy mentioned about me being published. Yes, I have written many opinion pieces, including short letters to editors and long op-eds. I've done a variety of writing in my life. I have written, obviously, academic essays and papers and memos and policy papers, policy analysis um, papers I've written when I was a student, undergrad, graduate school. I have also written poetry. I've written short stories. I have a novel manuscript that I've completed. I also have written, um, you know, as I was saying, op-eds and letters to editors that have been published in newspapers. So for those who are wondering, I can let you know that if you go to my website, tosifanam.net, um, there's a section called Published Opinions. And in that section, you will see a long list of my writings. Right now, I have 117 listed, but it's actually a higher number because I recently have written a few more. So I would say it's more than 120 at this point. Writings that have been published in various newspapers like USA Today, Boston Globe, Chicago Tribune, Washington Times, Washington Examiner, the Western Journal, Philadelphia Inquirer, Pittsburgh Post Gazette, Capital Times, Dodgeville Chronicle, Wisconsin State Journal, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, New York Daily News, New York Post, and there's more actually. I can't remember all the names. So yeah, my writings have appeared in many newspapers, many times, more than 120, at least 120, maybe more. Um, and then I have also written many blog posts over the years. So you can find all the information on my website. All right. Um, yeah, and so yeah, email me your questions. I will do my best to review the emails and hopefully answer the questions soon. Um, uh, to answer the questions very soon. All right, because I do these live streams almost every day as possible. Some weeks are busier than others. If I'm having a very busy week, if I'm traveling a lot, if I'm busy with other projects, then I may not be able to do live streams. But then I come back and I try to get back on schedule. Uh, all right. Okay. Let's see where we are. 1 hour and 18 minutes. Okay, that's great. Can you believe that I've done live streams that are um, more than 3 hours long? I've done live streams more than 3 hours long. Yeah, not once, but multiple times. I see a question about Maduro and Russia and Ukraine. Okay, I see that question. Let me tell you, Maduro has has done things to cause a lot of harm to American citizens. Maduro has caused a lot of harm to his own people in Venezuela and also to people outside of Venezuela. Maduro is extremely notorious, and I think when President Trump gave the orders for Maduro to be captured and detained, I think it's a decision that he made after a lot of analysis and thoughts and deliberation. And I think Maduro is going to be spending years, maybe decades, in prison. I think that's what's going to happen. All right? So I think Maduro is looking at a future behind bars. Okay? I don't think that there's any room for leniency. I don't think there's any room for handing him a light sentence. I think he is looking at many, many years. I don't know. I'm not going to put a number, but I think he's going to be spending a long time in prison. Okay? So I think it's non-negotiable. I think this is a done deal. Okay? I mean, the kind of risk that was involved in capturing him, the operation that had to be conducted to get him, to capture him, to detain him, and then to transport him, and all the manpower and all the resources involved in getting to this point, I don't think there's going to be any leniency or anything. There's not going to be some kind of I don't think there's going to be any negotiation. I think he's looking at a very, very long prison sentence. Okay? I hope that answers the question. But obviously, the fact that Maduro got captured, that sends a message to Russia that, hey, maybe Russia should think twice or thrice or 100 times before deciding to continue going on with this Ukraine-Russia war. Maybe it is time for Russia to finally come to the table and do a good faith deal. Not come to the table to buy more time, not come to the table to just waste other people's time, not come to the table only to go back and continue with the war. No, it is time for Russia to come to the table with the full and honest intention to actually do a peace deal. Because we know what Vladimir Putin has been doing. He pretends like, okay, he wants to talk about a peace deal. He comes to Alaska. He meets with President Trump. He talks to President Trump on the phone. President Trump has been working very hard to achieve peace. President Trump has been working very hard to end the Ukraine-Russia war. And Vladimir Putin pretends like, oh yeah, he's ready to make a deal. And then he goes and he keeps on attacking Ukraine. So now we know that Vladimir Putin perhaps is not serious about a peace deal. Perhaps he's just trying to waste people's time while he continues waging war and attacking Ukraine. And so now I think this operation in Venezuela, the capture of Maduro, I think this sends a strong message to Russia, to Putin, that, hey, you know what? Don't test our patience. Don't continue to waste our time, because America is serious about getting a peace deal done. So maybe now it's time to actually get a peace deal done, Vladimir Putin. So I think the fact that Maduro has been captured, I think this is going to send a message to Putin that now is the time. The war has been going on for too long. Now it's time to get a deal done. A peace deal. End this war. Let's have peace. By the way, do you, I don't know. I've given you my answer. I hope you, I don't know if you agree with my analysis or not. Bree says, peace for the world. Thank you, Bree. Synergy agrees. Thank you, Synergy. Any other questions for me? Okay, someone doesn't agree with me. That's all right. That's all right. Hey, that's all right. If you don't agree with me, fine. You know, I just appreciate the fact that you are giving me your valuable time by continuing to watch this live stream. That means a lot, okay? Even if you don't agree with me. You're giving me a precious resource, that is time. You're continuing to watch this live stream, which gives me greater visibility, okay? Helps me reach more people, so that's great. And maybe at some point, I'll be able to change your mind. And you'll say, Tausif, you know what? I didn't agree with you back then, but now I know you're right, and I'm going to agree with you. All right? Thanks so much. Okay, so what's the conversation about cookbook? Are you watching my cooking videos? Is that Victoria is here? Hi, Victoria. So what's the conversation about cookbook? Oh, you're watching my cooking videos? Should I write a cookbook? Maybe someday. Maybe someday. Synergy says you should make a cookbook. Great channel. Thank you, Synergy. Okay, if you like this channel, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. We're still under 17,000. We're in the 16,000 to 17,000 range right now. Just over 16,300. So yeah, this would be a request for you to please subscribe. Yeah, the Ukraine-Russia war is something I'm going to talk about again. I mean, this is something I've discussed many times. Many times I've discussed this, the Ukraine-Russia war. And it's not over. If the war goes on, I will continue talking about it. If there's a peace deal, a real peace deal, I will talk about the peace deal as well. So definitely there's going to be more discussion about the Ukraine-Russia war. So someone just wrote warmonger. Who's a warmonger? Who are you talking about? Who's the warmonger? No, I believe in peace. I believe in peace. Okay? I believe in peace. I don't want wars. I believe in peace. That's why I keep talking about the Ukraine-Russia war, because America is trying to end that war and help achieve peace. Okay? So don't use that word warmonger. That's not accurate. I support peace. How many times have I said that? I believe in peace, peace on earth. In fact, let me tell you that just a couple of days ago, I did a live stream that had more than 20,000 viewers, okay? And the title of the live stream was, Will 2026 be the year of peace? It was 1 hour and 21 minutes long, that live stream. And I talked about peace. Is 2026 going to be the year of peace? Okay, so that's always my focus. We want peace on earth. We don't want endless wars. We want peace. But you know what? This military action in Venezuela, this is to achieve peace, because if Maduro would have remained in power in Venezuela, he would have continued doing all kinds of notorious things that would then create more unrest and more chaos, and that would be just the opposite of peace. And so to help establish peace in that region, Maduro needed to be captured. And President Trump has done that. Okay, captured Maduro so that Venezuela, the people of Venezuela, can have peace. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. So, my friends, I'm gonna point out a blog post that I published just recently. On December the 26th of 2025, I wrote a blog post, and the title is the following: Here is the role that the United States has to play in international relations. That's the title of that blog post. Here is the role that the United States has to play in international relations. And I started that blog post by writing the following: The United States of America has a key role to play on the global stage. Our country must actively stay involved in international affairs and focus on building economic bridges and defense partnerships. We have always known that, but this message needs to be stated again with full clarity. The statement must be emphasized for all to see, hear, and understand. What do you think about that paragraph? I am highlighting the fact that the United States must stay involved in international relations, and the United States must focus on building economic bridges and defense partnerships. Because, there are people who say that, oh, we must withdraw from the world. There are people who advocate for limiting US involvement around the world. There are some people out there who are advocating for, you know, being isolated. They want US to be isolated and just you know, focus on domestic issues and just retreat from international affairs. But you know what? The United States must stay engaged in the world to promote freedom and liberty. I mean, look at what America did in Venezuela. The brave action, the bold action that President Trump took by capturing Maduro. This action is going to liberate the people of Venezuela. Freedom will be promoted, liberty will be achieved. And it's going to happen because now the US is going to run Venezuela. So the United States must stay involved. And I have said the following, okay? I'm going to read to you. I'm going to read to you from my blog post. Here it is, quote, the fight for freedom is ongoing in various parts of the world. There are many areas around the world where people still live in fear. Brutal dictators and ruthless authoritarian regimes still suppress the rights of people. For many human beings, freedom is still just a dream. People yearn for liberty. Many people in various parts of the world still hope for a day when they would be able to express their thoughts without the fear of persecution. As the most powerful country in the world, we have a role to play in international relations. God has given the United States of America the power and influence so we can spread the message of freedom. End quote. I just read a few paragraphs from my blog post, and I hope you agree with me. I sincerely hope. If you don't, you can let me know. I believe that the United States should continue to stay engaged in the world because we, as the global superpower, I think we have the most important role to play to promote freedom, to promote liberty. Bree says yes. Thank you, Bree. Thank you. Thanks so much, Bree. And others, what do you think? Salerno says, I agree 100%. Steve says, I agree with you. Thank you, Steve. Christina, thank you so much. Christina says you are good. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you agree with my views. Yeah, there are those. I can see people who don't agree with me. That's okay. That's all right. You don't have to. Freedom of speech. If you don't agree with me, you can let me know. Okay, here's more. I wrote, because I know that how some people are going to react to what I just said. Some folks are going to say, no, we don't need to focus on international relations. We need to focus on domestic issues. Listen, I'm going to read to you another part of that same blog post, okay? I can't read the whole thing, so I'm reading parts. You can find the whole blog post on my website. The address is given. Here's what I wrote, and I quote, "Yes, our biggest priority must always be to take care of our own citizens. Our focus must be to ensure economic security for the American people. America's emphasis must be on public safety for all United States citizens. And as we ensure America's steady progress towards greater prosperity, we must also keep an eye on the rest of the world. The United States must provide guidance and support in the establishment of coercion-free societies. The United States must assist those who wish to establish American-style democracy in their countries. That is how we make new friends and we build a stronger global network of trust and cooperation. End quote. What do you think? What do you think? Let me know. I did emphasize that yes, the American people would be our first priority. America's economic security, public safety, to take care of the American citizens, first priority, but we cannot be detached from the world. We cannot isolate ourselves. We cannot retreat. We cannot withdraw from the world. We have to stay involved. What do you think? And I wrote further, long-term ties in international relations are developed by extending a helpful hand to a country or population in need. A helpful hand that pulls people out of crisis, a hand of cooperation that alleviates pain, leading to the establishment of a strong bond between nations. Let me know your thoughts, my friends. It's good to see this video has gotten almost 100 likes, 95. I hope we are able to get to 100. I don't know. But 95 likes so far. That's wonderful, I think. Maybe if 5 more people would hit the like button, that'd be great. 96, there you go. We can get to 100. That'd be 98. Wow. Hey, that's awesome. Go ahead, my friends. Oh, 99 likes. That's nice. We're just a little short. Let's get to 100. Go ahead. Oh, we got a comment here. Happy 250th birthday. Yeah, America's 250th birthday coming up. 2026 is going to be an amazing year for our country, I feel. 2026. The FIFA World Cup, America's 250th anniversary. We got the election, midterm election coming up. Uh, let me ask this question. Anyone here uh, planning to go and watch any of the FIFA World Cup games? Um, like um, at the stadium? Anyone actually going to, like, of course, we're going to be watching on TV. Undoubtedly, so many people will be watching the FIFA World Cup hosted by the United States, co-hosted by Canada and Mexico. But anyone planning to actually go to the stadium to watch a game? Um, yeah, Kansas City. Victoria is writing Kansas City. Yeah, Kansas City will be hosting some matches, I think. Sophie is saying yes in Mexico. Okay, so you're going to Mexico to watch a game. Okay. Anyone else? Paul is saying Gulf of America. I love that, Paul. Gulf of America. Oh, Victoria is going to drive her. Now, Victoria, remind me, are you in Kansas City? Is that where you are? Bree is saying that she'll be watching on TV. I think I'm going to do the same, Bree. I'm going to watch on TV. I would love to go and see a match, at least one game in person at a stadium, but uh, I don't think that'll be possible. The closest to Wisconsin would be Kansas City, okay? Because the West Coast is far away. I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Wisconsin. So geographically, I think the closest stadium would be Kansas City. By the way, I love Kansas City. Um, I It's been a while since I've been to Kansas City, but I think it was in 2018 that I went to Kansas City. On my way to Dallas, I was driving through Kansas City on my way to Dallas from Wisconsin. Anyone else planning to watch FIFA? I've actually talked about FIFA also on this channel. Very excited that the United States will be hosting the FIFA World Cup, the biggest sporting event in the world. And this FIFA World Cup is going to be bigger than any other World Cup before. Okay, I think this is going to be the best FIFA World Cup in the history of FIFA World Cups. Can you believe that it's past 3 a.m. and we're still doing this live stream. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. Any more questions for me? Go ahead, write your questions in the live chat, friends. If you have any more questions, go ahead. Write your questions in the live. Hey, listen. You see the live chat window. It's open. You can ask questions. I'm trying my best to answer. All of a sudden, I see folks are not writing much comments, huh? I wonder what happened, huh? I wonder what happened. What about the flood of comments and questions? I don't... Yeah, all of a sudden, Paul, all of a sudden, like, I could see the flood of questions and comments, and all of a sudden it kind of slowed down. I wonder what happened. I wonder what happened. Bree is still here. K. Cooper's still here. Yeah, K. Cooper, you're right. It got so peaceful, right? Yeah. Yeah, Paul. What happened, right? All the flood of questions, and which, I appreciate. People can still ask me questions. I mean, you just gotta hit that subscribe button, and then you can ask me you can ask me questions. Just hit the subscribe button. That's all you gotta do. Yeah. I mean, this is called adapting. You have to adapt to changes. Life is never a constant. Things change. And so you have to adapt as you see changes happening. And yeah, I mean, if it's suddenly subscriber only, well, adjust, adapt accordingly, subscribe, and then you can write your comments, right? Bree says, subscribe and join the discussion. There you go, Bree. Absolutely. 102 likes today. I appreciate that. Phantom is writing loser. Yeah, Maduro is the loser. You're right. That's right. That's a correct comment. Maduro is the loser. Yeah. Maduro is the loser, Phantom. Yeah. Yeah, we agree. Maduro is the loser. He should have listened to reason. He should have understood that the consequences will be very bad. Maduro should have applied common sense. But he decided to challenge the US, and Maduro ended up being a loser. Yeah. Stacy is here. Hello, Stacy. Purple is saying you only respond to one person. Do I? No, I've been responding to so many people. So many people have been responding to, Frank and to Kay and I responded to Phantom here. I responded to Steve and Kay Cooper and so many others. So many others. I mean, you have to go back and look at my other live streams to see how many people I interact with, And there are so many others, I don't remember the names, but I've been talking for 1 hour and 55 minutes. I've responded to many questions and comments. All right. Okay, my friends, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to maybe wrap up this live stream now. Okay. Um, my friends, I'm very grateful for your continued support for this channel. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking the video. Um, and I just appreciate your continued support. We are going to grow and get to 20,000 subscribers. That'll be a nice milestone to reach. And we will continue to grow, hopefully, beyond that. So I'm going to end this live stream now. We're getting close to the 2-hour mark. So, in conclusion, I'm just going to say that what message did the U.S. send to the world? A message of strength. The United States, by capturing Maduro, sent a strong message that America is strong again, and that the U.S. military is the strongest in the world, stronger than ever before, and that our allies should feel confident and our adversaries should be worried, because the U.S. is the strongest, and the U.S. will continue to grow even stronger. So thank you so very much, my friends. I appreciate you all. Thanks for your support. Please stay connected, because I will be doing more videos and more live streams. Make sure you subscribe if you have not done so yet, and tell your friends, family members, and your neighbors about this channel, and ask them to also come and join future live streams, and to participate in the live chat, and to subscribe, and to be a part of this growing community of freedom-loving people. Thank you so very much, everyone. May God bless you all. May God bless President Donald J. Trump. May God bless the Trump administration. May God bless the Republican leaders in Washington. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless our U.S. allies. And may God bless freedom-loving people all over the world. Thank you so very much. I would have said have a good night, but it's 3:12 a.m. We're getting close to sunrise. So I hope you all have a great morning, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so very much, my friends.